Welcome to another week, another show of Hawkeyed with me, Dave O'Hara. Here we are again, right here, Carver Hawkeye Arena, the Big Ten Conference Room. Lisa Bluder joining us for this show, and after Lisa, we're going to have Jensen and Jenni Fitzgerald joining us to close out the show. So Lisa, as always, thanks for joining us. It's great seeing you.
My pleasure.
Lisa, I was just telling you off the air as we record this on Wednesday afternoon, December 20th. A year ago today, you and I and Caitlin Clark and Monica Sonano and my production partner Michael Merrick and Bailey Turner, your SID, we were all in this room a year ago recording.
Yeah.
So my easy, basic first question to you today is, what's happened in your life the last year? What's changed? What's different?
Yeah, things have changed quite a bit since that time. We've won a Big Ten tournament championship, obviously making it to the championship game and, being a historic event for our program that we've never made it there before. And, certainly we would have enjoyed winning. Who wouldn't? I feel like our team did a great job representing this university in our great state, and just really proud of the way they conducted themselves and handled themselves in that situation. But yeah, since we've been home, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind. Obviously, Caitlin was named Player of the Year nationally, and just was recently named Co-Sportswoman of the Year. That's all sports, all women across the country. That's an amazing accomplishment. So a lot has changed, including sellouts and that sort of thing.
Caitlin just seems to be wired differently than any other player I've ever seen or been around for a number of years. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I do think she's wired differently. I mean, she's such a competitor. She loves the game. She's really good at it, and she knows she's really good at it. She loves to, show off her skill. And, the event at the crossover was really special. I had an inward goal of I was hoping that 50,000 people would show up. And, our administration came to us and they go, "Are you going to be disappointed if only 20 show up?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to be disappointed, but I really believe in the Hawkeye fans." And they came through. 56,000 people came out for that game. Most spectacular photographs, little girls screaming, adults crying. I thought it was such an empowering event for women as we broke the attendance record for women's basketball. But I just really feel like it was a great event to celebrate where our sport has come.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Caitlin going back to Des Moines last week and playing in Wells Fargo, she performed pretty well there. She was 1-3 going into that, and she in her college career she's 1-0. So had a great night, and again that was almost felt like a NCAA tournament type of atmosphere.
You're right.
It was very electric. We were playing in a different arena, a semi-pro arena, and it felt electric, and I'm really glad that some of the people that don't get to see us play in Carver now, because it being sold out, got to see us play there.
I find it interesting. You and I go so far back. I remember I mentioned to you, you were one of the 40 under 40 when you were at Drake. We go that far back. And I remember you telling me, you said, Dave, it was more of an adjustment. You were playing basketball with your brothers in the mean streets. I always joke the mean streets of Marion. But you were playing 5-on-5, and you said, Dave, I had to adjust to play 6-on-6 in Iowa. And then when I went to college, I was ready for 5-on-5. That is another huge change in your career in your lifetime.
Well, I've seen a lot of different things. The switch from 6-on-6 to 5-on-5, the three-point line going back not once but twice, the size of the basketball growing, reducing for women, going to quarters. I mean, we've had a lot of changes, but all of them have been really good, and I think the ambassadors for our sport have really done a good job treating it well.
I couldn't agree more with you, and I'm going to talk to Jan and Jenny about this as well when they join us here in the next couple segments. But for me and folks of our age and experience, I find it fascinating when I would try to talk to people about women's basketball, and I'm not here to sell people on it, but as you mentioned, it's here, it's not going anywhere, and it's getting bigger, better. But what I found fascinating is I always tell people, if you're a true basketball purist, pick and rolls, just the basic basketball fundamentals, give and goes. And I'm not saying three-point and dunks ruin men's basketball, but it's a different game, and that game is above the rim.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
But I prefer, and again, I think a lot of people are liking this game, the game you're talking about, and that you've lived your whole life. I love the fact that it goes back to the pick and rolls, and the fundamentals are more I won't say important, but more emphasized. Fair statement?
Yeah, no, it is a fair statement. I do believe that. John Wooden was quoted many times saying that he preferred to watch women's basketball because it was the way it was meant to be played. But, I love the guys' game, but you can't compare it. It is very different than the
stated.
women's game. And so they're two different basketball games, and people just need to remember that. They're played differently. And I like the way the women's game is played, and I like the way that we play it. We're very up-tempo. We shoot threes, but we also, are one of the best in the country in passing the basketball as well. Caitlin not only led the country in scoring, but led the country in assists. And so we like to share it. And my women are typically playing with a smile on their face. And honestly, I think our team last year just gave people an opportunity to think about something other than what was going on around the country. And we needed something happy, something positive to cheer for. And I think our team became that team.
Absolutely, and you and I talked about that last year, as did Monica and I and Caitlin and I, and what you folks bring to the community. And again, not saying no one else does that, but it is neat to see. And the other thing I find fascinating when you mention it about Caitlin, it's overlooked. She's an incredible passer, and I don't care what men's or women's basketball, I'll put her against anybody from 30, 35 feet out. It's a normal shot for her. It's not like coming from her knees. It's a normal shot. And you were talking about the three-point line earlier. I was going to joke and say, are they going to start making a four-point line for her? Because now, let's be honest, as a coach, and I've asked you this before, I have to ask again just to relive last year. Have you ever come down, has Jan or Jenny, and I'll ask them separately, ever come down with Caitlin, and it was one dribble inside the half court, right? I mean, let's be honest. That wasn't logo. That was dang near a half court three. She took one dribble on Saturday, was there, took it and shot it. I got to believe all three of you collectively and individually said, no, okay, good shot, good shot. True? Have you ever done that with Caitlin?
Oh, I've done that many times with Caitlin. But at this point, I know it's coming, and so now I just, I just smile and shake my head.
What can you do?
I cannot do anything else. But she is like a special player that, and you can just see her joy after she makes that, and she's slapping, high fives to everybody in the front row.
That was great.
And how much fun did they have? They enjoyed it too.
Well, look how you and I are laughing right now just talking about it. As a coach, you got to be loving it. So, well, Lisa, let's do this. Thank you. Great insights as always for this first segment, and let's close out the show, the next two segments, with the three amigos.
Or the Three Stooges, whatever one you want,
I'm not going to say that. You said it, I didn't. But yeah, looking forward to letting those two either indict themselves or clear their record with you. But yeah, looking forward to catching up with head Iowa women's basketball coach Lisa Bluder, and we'll have Jen Jensen, her associate head coach, and Jenni Fitzgerald, her assistant. 30 plus years. Well, how many years exactly?
I got to do the math again. I think it's about 32.
32 years, the three amigos. Wow, or whatever you want to call yourselves. So for Lisa Bluder, I'm Dave O'Hara on Hawkeyed. We'll be back with more in just a few moments.
To have a strong finish, you need an excellent start. It's true on the track and also in the field. That's why Mershman Seeds works tirelessly to deliver cutting-edge technology year after year. Introducing Starting Line, Mershman Seeds' latest advancement in seed treatment, now providing added protection from white mold and sudden death syndrome all season. Ask for Starting Line seed treatment from Mershman Seeds, your friend in the field.
Welcome back to Hawkeyed with me, Dave O'Hara, Lisa Bluder, Jan Jensen, the Post Whisperer, and Jenni Fitzgerald. And I'm going to tell a little factoid that we talked about off the camera because Jenny's too humble to say it. Not only was she Miss Basketball in the state of Iowa from North Scott High School, she was also Miss Volleyball and Miss Softball. So kudos to you, rock star down there on the end. And with apologies. And I know you said, there weren't that many schools, and I don't care if there are 110 or 1,000. Great job. But Jan, I'm going to start with you and then go to Jenny, since Lisa and I did the whole first segment talking, and head women's basketball coach, associate women's basketball coach, and assistant coach. So Jan Jensen, Lisa Bluder walks into Drake. Your senior year, Jenny had just left, had finished her playing career, a very successful playing career at Drake.
Sounds like a joke. Lisa Bluder walks in, and a rabbi and a priest, and what's going to happen? I don't know.
We'll finish that off the air. We can't go on the air with that, Jan. See, this is why, folks, we even talked about this. This is why I'm sitting down here. Lisa's going to rein those two in, the three of me. No, don't you dare apologize for. I love it. That's awesome. But thinking like I'm thinking, and that's not always good. But let's talk about that. Lisa Bluder walks into, before it was the Knapp Center. What were your thoughts? What was your experience? Instead of hearing Lisa's version, what's your version?
Well, being a senior, so my fellow seniors, we were just kind of like, oh man, we got to start over our senior year.
Who's this?
It's like, what's this going to be like? And you're all concerned. But when we met her, she was fun. She was young. She had a really good energy to her, so we were excited. But the story I really like to share is there's two. So when we were playing one time, practicing, she was kind of intense and she didn't really enjoy how we'd started practice. And we were she had these station
Oh, you said that
works.
incredibly diplomatically,
Yes,
by the
I
way.
did.
Kudos to you.
And we were dying, honestly, and she was not happy, and she sent us all down back in the locker room and said to start over.
Wow.
And we had to start over with, like, we were exhausted. But she got our attention. Like, this was not fun and games. We were intense. And I remember that was a breakthrough moment because we're like, oh, geez, she really expects us to be better. We can be better, and she's not going to expect anything less. And then the one thing, when we went to Hawaii during our senior year, we played in a big-time tournament, and we were playing the 4th-ranked team, and we got beat pretty badly. Well, in our past coaching, if you didn't perform really well, regardless of where you were at, it was pretty much video, watching, and just a lot of intensity and not a lot of sightseeing. So we got hammered. Lisa comes in the locker room, and we're all thinking, like, we're never going to see Hawaii. This is going to be awful. Lisa comes in, and she's like, you didn't block out. We did not handle the press. I do not like our intensity. Da-da-da-da. And then she said, okay, you got 15 minutes to shower. We're going to eat a hard rock. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to watch film tonight. You got it? And she leaves, and we're like, oh, my gosh, we love her. My gosh. And that's when I wish Jenny, who's a year older, she could have experienced that, because those moments, even for me in my coaching career, it really helps shape. You can work hard, and you can also still enjoy, regardless of winning or losing. And I think that's, Lisa, Jenny, and I being together all these years, we've always held true to that. Especially if one of us wants to remain intense, someone else will be like, remember, it's a game. We can do this. If we relax a little bit today, they're going to perform better tomorrow. And I think that's what we've all held each other accountable. But Lisa really, that's how she started coaching.
So Jenny, now it's you. You meet Lisa Bluder. What was your meeting with Lisa when you weren't playing there at Drake then, and you were gone, or you weren't playing anymore? What was your first experience meeting Lisa, or where, when, how?
Well, I actually went on to grad school at Southern Illinois. I was a grad assistant there, and so we were still playing Drake. And so
it was a gateway conference back then,
it
right?
was.
I think, yeah,
it sure was. And so that was our first experience. We thought that Drake would be down a little bit, and weren't be as tough as you thought they would be. And when we went to Drake and played, they pretty much kicked us the first, and we were pretty good at Southern at the time, and kicked us in that first half. And I mean, our head coach there, Coach Scott, was pretty livid, and a little livid at me that I didn't maybe explain things better to her about Drake. But anyway.
It was your Scott. What happened? Yeah.
But I think it was that first instance was seeing how quickly Lisa turned it around and how much fun the team was having, and I was very happy for them to have that they had that experience. Specifically Jan's senior year, and the other gals that I had played with as well.
This is something I was going to get into in the third segment, but I can't hold it down anymore. So I have to know, first of all, you and I talked about this last year, so I'm going to go to Jenny.
Oh, dear.
What makes Jan Jensen the post whisperer? And I'm going to mention names, and I'm going to start leaving names off.
Jan pretty much said it our cards. No, I'm just kidding.
Jenny coaches the guard.
Yeah. There was no life. Yeah, I was going to say no life before that. But I'm just fascinated. You look at the talent pool of post players, and I'm not going to start mentioning names. Well, I will, but with Doolittle to Gustafson, and even before that with Disterhoff wasn't the post player, but you've had just a great.
Johnson.
Yeah, Morgan John. Thank you. You've had just a great run.
Jamie Cave.
So I'll let you go. Yeah, you go ahead. So what makes Jan and her post players so special?
Well, I mean, she's a great basketball coach. I mean, but take that out of it. But I think the thing that probably makes her stand, alone compared to some of the others is how she gets the girls to think about themselves and how they feel about themselves as a player. And she gets them to believe in themselves, and they're very confident, and they just know that she has the utmost, and her teammates have the utmost faith in them because of how I think she makes them feel mentally, and I don't think everyone has that gift, and then she does, and she just makes them they believe in themselves like none other. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, she's a great coach. She knows the X and O and how to post up, where to post up, where to ask for the ball, and all those type of things. But it's I think the mental part that she really helps with them.
What would you say, Lisa? What makes her?
I agree completely. I think that Jan is an excellent motivator, and and really does pour into people and make them believe in themselves. So I would agree completely with Jenni.
I would like to
I was going to say, what do you have to say? That's exactly where I'm going with this. What do you have to say about
You
yourself?
want to say something?
It's so rare. Shall I be concise? I think that is true. I think Lisa pours in, Jenni, and I think it is true. I also think, honestly, I'm not just saying this to be, oh, you're humble or whatever. I get way too much credit for that because those women work really hard. And I think our style of play, we believe in getting it inside. And you cannot have a great post unless you know how to feed them the ball. Right. So our guards have to be able to make a wraparound bounce pass both ways. They have to know when to give up on the wing pass and know when to throw it to the top and then throw the top and in pass. So it really works in concert.
Yeah.
And I really have gotten a lot more credit than I really deserve. And really, Jenni and I have been with Lisa, through the whole thing. And, sometimes I think by virtue of my title, is like we've been a great team. And Jenni does so much behind the scenes. And she's brilliant mind, but I think we've worked together because she knows how to get those guards believing in those posts.
Yeah.
And then I can get the posts getting pretty confident they want the ball. And then Lisa's system is all about, we're going to take the high percentage shot first.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's really worked. And I think we've complemented each other over the years, our styles.
So let's not be humble or, not show any humility here. Who's taking credit for Caitlin? Which one of you three?
All three of us.
Well, and the person who is there, Abby, should be taking credit for it too.
Yeah.
But it's a village with Caitlin.
It's a village.
Yeah.
It's a village.
It's a real task and tough, I'm sure. Yeah.
Everybody's going to be taking credit for Caitlin in this state.
Yes, indeed.
I told you last year, Lisa, you and I talked off the air besides on the air. I said, I'm taking credit. This was the first long-form interview she did last year was with me. And then Dan Patrick's show, ESPN.
You warmed her up.
I'm taking some credit here, too. Why not? If there's enough to go around, why not? It's the Caitlin Clark Express. But, ladies, I can't thank you enough. I know you've had a busy day with, you've got finals and you've had class, trying to get the ladies through all that. But you had practice. They got their Christmas party tonight.
That's right.
So being here at Carver Hawkeye is great. And I want to thank all three of you. We've got another segment left. But thank you all so much for taking time to do this.
It's our pleasure.
Talking some of the great Iowa Hawkeye basketball. Here's the head coach, the associate head coach, and the assistant coach. You got Lisa Bluder. You got Jensen and Jenni Fitzgerald. I'm Dave O'Hara with Hawkeye. We'll be back with more to close out the show in just a few moments.
Who do you trust to produce the best yield? A seed company that's chasing technology or a seed company that's writing a book on it? Merschman Seeds is a leader in technology. We're independent and family owned. Our sister company, MS Technologies, provides access to world-class traits and genetics. And our starting line seed treatment is second to none. Who can you trust with your yields? Merschman Seeds, your friend in the field.
Welcome back to Hawkeye with me, Dave O'Hara, Lisa Bluder, Jensen, Jenni Fitzgerald. You got your head coach of Iowa women's basketball, associate head coach, and assistant coach. Ladies, it has been a blast. I can't thank you enough for your time. So let's close out with a real whiz-banger here, the last one. When you talk to Caitlin, obviously you're going to be pro-Iowa, but what's best for her, or when that decision comes at the end of this year, whether she's going to go to the WNBA or she has the option to come back for another year, what is your conversation like with her?
Well, why would I not want her to stay?
Obviously.
That's silly, So of course I want her to stay, but I also have to, back her in whatever she chooses to do and whatever she wants to do. But I certainly want to point out some of the good things that staying at Iowa can give her, including the opportunity to completely rewrite the NCAA record books. And
it would just be an autobiography of Caitlin Clark, right?
It really could be. And it's not like she's giving up on the dream of the WNBA. She's just delaying it a year. So it's not like you're really choosing between the WNBA and Iowa. It's just choosing about 1 year. Where do you want to spend this 1 year if you have either choice?
Well, you've really hit upon, all three of you have really hit upon it. This isn't an era player or a once in a generation. This is a once in a lifetime talent. Yeah. And as we talk today, she's number 9 on the scoring list, but by the end of this calendar year, she could be top 5.
Right.
And Kelsey Plum now is not that far away at number 1. And you mentioned some great players all three of you have throughout college basketball. But that's the thing that excites me as an Iowa fan and should excite all the viewers. Yes, if Caitlin does leave this year or the next year, whenever it happens, it's inevitable. She's going to be done playing here. here.
Right.
You've got a great well of talent coming in, and it was well documented on social media with Callie Levine, and you went over to Wisconsin to recruit, and Callie and her mom were there watching 2 players when you went and played in Madison. That's the thing I think that's encouraging, is where it's leaving the game in a far better place than where we're headed next. So, well stated by all 3 of you. Let's enjoy it while we have it, and it is what it is. So, okay, now the competitive side has got to come out of the 3 of you, and I did this with the Sanfords in their show the last couple of weeks.
Definitely me.
Yeah.
I don't
you
know.
and
Wait,
Price,
wait,
you
I
and
don't
Price
know.
Sanford would get along very, very well. I love the assuredness. Okay, so we're going to start with Lisa first, and just go down the line. Since I kind of jumbled the order of questions here, we'll come back to you, Coach. If your playing days, would you play, who would be an easier or more desirable, whatever phrase, and just see, Jen is already wincing. Who would you choose as your head coach? Who would you like to play for, Jenny or Jan? And don't say both or co-head coaches. I'm 5 steps
I'm
ahead of
picking
you.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Well, because Jenny does the majority of our scouting for us, and she's they both sit by me on the bench, but Jenny is really, and not that Jan's not, but Jenny really watches the most basketball of anybody on our staff.
All right.
Absolutely.
Victory. I love the cheer. We're going to go right down the line.
You got to give her a few. It was like, who do you want to play to take the
I
shot?
love
Me.
it. I love it.
That's true.
That's true.
Here's the competitive side I love. Here's the competitive.
Strategies, forget that. We're talking about playing.
Here's the competitive side I love. So, Jan, you don't get a chance to think about this. Right to it now. Who would you rather play for, Lisa? Well, you played for Lisa.
Oh, yeah, that's
so.
unfair.
Okay, no. But it's the why that's going to be important. Who would you rather play for, or what about them? Why would you rather play for which one of these 2?
Oh, golly. Well, this is a known commodity. I love the nation of scoring.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. I let you shoot the ball.
I would get to play for Lisa as well.
No offense, but I think I could have handled that as well. Come on. I mean, anyway. So, would you have a choice on who and why?
Oh, man, that's a hard one because you
That's why I
got your
asked
best friend that you've played
Yep.
with, from all the years. But then I know what she is able to do. I think I'd be a player coach, and I coach myself.
That is such a unique and wonderful answer. That's a cop-out, but I'm going to let you, nobody else but you gets to slide on that, Jen Jensen. There, enough said. Jenny, which one of these 2 would you rather play
Player
for?
coach.
Well, yeah, you were
There
the
we
point
go.
guard. You were the leader.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, just because Jan said that earlier, I can't let you slide on that.
Oh,
So
no, you
I
can't.
can't let you
You
slide.
can't.
Well, I would have loved to have been able
Yes.
to play
Yeah.
You need to say
for
this.
Lisa, and then if Lisa ever retired, I would have loved to have the chance to play for
Yeah.
Jan. So
This is what.
Oh, boy.
The female Bill Russell right here,
I
Jan
will tell
Jensen.
you this. So we've always said, like, Lisa
Yes.
is phenomenal. If you put Jan and I together, we become Lisa.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of her strengths and
Yep.
my strength, combine them, and that's all of Lisa's
Yeah.
strengths.
Which is true. And
it's hard not to pick Lisa in all
I
these
feel like
situations.
if Jenny, I feel so really blessed
Yeah.
that I got to play for Lisa because Lisa, how we play now.
Yeah.
Now we have a lot more better players, but Jenny, she would have really shined for Lisa.
Yeah.
Now she may not have had logo range, but
I still never had.
but she was
We got that
really
taken care
good.
of.
I mean, really, and that's the one thing I think if she could have played for Lisa, it was really fun. Those of us that got to play for Lisa,
Yeah.
and if you're a scorer, it's fun because everybody has a great night.
Well, if I sat here and went through all 3 of these 3 ladies' accolades, all 3 Hall of Famers, I joked and said you're the Bill Russell of the female of the women's game because Bill Russell was a Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame coach, was player coach back in the day, was the original, the OG. But yeah, the 3 of you together, it is such a cool melding of talent and differences, but similarities. All 3 Hall of Famers, all 3 decorated, again, and I didn't even get a chance to, we talked about Jenny's career, but yeah, like Lisa said, you led the nation in scoring. I mean, your decorated high school career in a small little southwestern Iowa high school. Then you go to Drake and just, boom, go overseas before there was a WNBA or before women's pro ball in the USA. I often wonder, don't you, is what Jan may have accomplished in women's professional
Think
basketball
of
in
the
the States.
NIL deals we would have had, Jenny.
Oh, man.
Bitter much? No, I'm kidding. Hey, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Well, I think I've taken this as far as I possibly can, but it kept you 3 from going at each other's throats here. Competitive but friendly, and we're all laughing. That's how I wanted to leave it.
all
But
good.
Head women's basketball coach here at Iowa, Lisa Bluder, her associate head coach, Jensen, and her assistant coach, Jenni Fitzgerald. Ladies, all three of you, thank you so much, and I'm going to reach you're welcome.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
I'm going to reach across all you. I apologize. Thank you both, all three of you, so much. Lisa first, and then the three of us, the three ladies joining me. What a team. What a future. We're all very happy with where we're going. Do we have an end point in mind, the three of us, or are you just going to go as long as you can?
Long as we're having
As long
fun.
as they'll keep us.
As long as they'll keep us.
Hey, we just keep showing up to work and they keep letting us
They haven't
in.
changed the locks to the passcode.
We're all good.
I expected nothing else from you three. Thank you so much. So, for the aforementioned ladies, I'm Dave O'Hara with Hawkeyed. Thanks again to my production partner, Michael Merrick, and to Bailey Turner, the SID here for Iowa Women's Basketball. That's all from us. Thanks to all of you. And as always, thanks for staying tuned at the end of the program for these rolling credits to give our advertisers and sponsors the attention and credit they so richly deserve. And as always, to our aforementioned guests and to you, the viewers. That's all from us at Hawkeyed. Thanks to all of you.